the American dream turned into an American nightmare?
In some parts of America, I would say yes. I think there is some vast improvements that we need to make. For the first time in a long time, I feel like a lot more people are feeling hopeless. And we can take a poll. Like, are you, everyone in chat, do you feel as if you are able to make more money now than you were maybe, let's say, 5 or 6 years ago? I think this is a true eye test. I think more people are more concerned, feeling hopeless. Revenue and money is not flowing as easily. So because of all the debt, things that we talked about earlier, I wouldn't say that it's a dream state. And if we're going to be very honest, I said it before, but even the American dream of owning a home, 3-bedroom with a white picket fence, that was a banking product. Student loans are a banking product. That was a way for banks to ensure that they would have enough money coming in for a few generations. That's why you can't file bankruptcy on a student loan debt. So we're not in the nightmare phase yet, but I think if we don't fix some of these issues, we will be entering a purgatory. I keep saying it, and I don't know how to express it better, but I don't know if the last 2 presidents will be able to run any Fortune 500 companies, and if they can't run Rivian. So why should you be president?
President of the United States?
So they can't run this economy, and they can't.
It's not going well.
It's a valid point. I just don't like the idea of the American dream. Like you say, like, who's the author of it? What's the premise of it? It never really worked for us. It never was designed for us. And so I think like what we're doing is creating more realities than anything. Like I don't want anybody to have a dream. I want them to look at their reality, see how they can shape it, how they can mold it, how they can create something that's inspirational for themselves and their family and others. So is it dead? I mean, we've been awake for a while. I never looked at American.
I love that. I mean, I don't want to be doom and gloom, so I do want to ask you, going to an Invest Fest, like, what are 3 tips you would give them to build a multi-million-dollar brand if you were starting from scratch?
Find a way to impact the most amount of people that you can possibly can. Mm-hmm. Something that, you know, is extremely impactful, revolutionary. A lot of times people start businesses just to make money. I don't feel like that's the best way to go about it. I feel like a business should be started with impact first, and then finance is second. So you should look to see how can I add value? How can I be impactful? How can I change people's lives? And then focus on the business revenue model later. That's my opinion. Of course, you know, relationships, I'm very big on that. So mentorship, I would seek mentorship. I would seek all kinds of different relationships in the industry. I would, you know, join different organizations of people in your industry. If you're in trucking, you should be in a trucking organization. You should go to the trucking conference. You should, you know, be on the board of the local trucking chapter in your neighborhood. That's extremely important, to just be, you know, fully involved in whatever you are, whether that's retail, whether that's in mental health services, whether that's in logistics, whether that's in media. Like, you should be, you know, on the inside, right? And one of the ways to be on the inside is, like I said, join these different organizations, volunteer, go to different events, just build relationships. That's extremely important as well. And really find out a way to be extremely disruptive in the space. And I think if you look at Earn Your Leisure, you know, it's an example of that. All 3 of those, really, as far as you know, doing something that had maximum value, as far as could reach millions of people and change people's lives. When you're talking about educating people about finances and investing and buying a home and different things of that nature, that's life changing. So that's the first thing. And then the relationships speak for themselves. As far as everything that we've been able to curate is all based on relationships. And then the last thing is just being disruptive. You know, I don't think anybody has really been more disruptive than what we've been able to curate as far as in our space of finance.
Yeah.
You know, being able to come and, you know, how we curate the content and deliver the message and use social media and break societal norms when it comes to, you know, finance and different types of business etiquette. We were disruptive. And I think great companies are disruptive. Uber's disruptive. Airbnb is disruptive. You know, you have to be disruptive. So you could be disruptive in a variety of different areas, but in order to really, you know, Because right now we're in an age of saturation. Everybody has already done something that you're probably looking to do. So how do you separate yourself from that is to, really shake things up.
Yeah, I think I'll just add to it, original messaging, like you said, like the content has to be delivered or your message has to be unique. It's one of those things where we always say where we're looking at the landscape and saying that we're going to do something that's completely out of bounds of what everybody would think and not allowing people to put us inside of a box, right? It would have been easy to say like, those are the guys they only know business, but we hip hop, we sports, with fashion, with travel, with all these things.
Yeah.
And that makes it very original in itself because how many people could do that? It's something we take pride in, being able to go chop it up with Joe and everybody at his show, and then also be on Bloomberg. Like you go from Button to Bloomberg, like how many people are in a landscape that they can do that? Not many.
Sorry they couldn't sit around for the Patreon, Joe. Shout out Corey, but they had to go.
It makes it unique. It makes it original. I think, and this is one of the things that gets overlooked with us is that having interaction with your audience. A lot of these people live inside of a social media platform, but you never see these people in real life.
Yeah.
And so there's a guarantee that you're probably gonna see us, right? And every time we go somewhere, even when we up here in Toronto, it's like, yo, what they doing at the block party? Like, yo, we want to see what the city's like. Yo, what are they doing in the after spot? Like, we want to be everywhere because our audience is everywhere, and our audience is unique and is dynamic, and it goes across all genres and all age ranges. And so we want to show up at Dyckman, and we're going to be watching the game because we love sports. And so that doesn't take anything away from what we do for a living, right? Like we're able to have conversations about multitude of things, again, because the messaging is unique, but it also encompasses what we really are. I think the biggest thing, when you're talking about $1 million brands and $1 billion brands is start, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like that be the number one thing. That, you just wait and you wait. And every day that you wait, and I've experienced this myself, being in education, was just like every year that I waited to take another course, it was like, all right, somebody went ahead. Somebody's gotten ahead. The next crop of people are coming. It's one of those lessons that if you don't have to learn, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right. We had this conversation about tech, and it was like, they're treating this like it's college basketball. They're looking for the next freshman to come in, and every day that you wait to get better, there's another crop of freshmen coming in to take your spot. And so you should look at anything like that. You should definitely look at business like that. Every day you wait, there's a new upcoming class that's coming with innovation. They're coming with disruption. Yep. They're coming with the intent to knock you off the block. So start now. So.
Yeah. Well, you got anything to add to it?
Yeah, it's on your hoodie. Consistency is key. Even when the S&P thing came up, like I posted on Instagram, like it's interesting like how fast time will go. But I remember when S&P Global downrated the United States, it was 12 years ago, but it feels like it was like 4 or 5 years ago when that happened. So be consistent in your craft. Number two, you have to find a gap that no one is filling. So for me, when I used to watch CNBC, shout out to everyone there, Frank, Terranova, Josh, who has a new show on Fridays, check that out. But when I watch CNBC, I know there's restrictions on why, but no one would just say, this company at this price, I'm looking to buy here, get out there. Like you have to find a need. So even in healthcare, there's a lot of room where people can innovate in healthcare and finance and in tech, how to break into tech, how to build products and sell at scale, I think is key. And then the third for me is like you have to be able to do something that no one else in the world can do. And when you put those together with the other tips you guys mentioned, like being able to network, and even over the last 2 years, I've been out a lot more as a result, like because people have to feel your energy and see if they can be able to trust you. But doing something no one else can do, consistently telling people about it and help. And if I can add a bonus one, like find a way to help 1 million people for free. Regardless of all the criticism I get about pricing, which is always interesting to me, because I'm like, people like, you charge a lot, but I'm like, the majority of people who make money for me for free. So find a way in your craft to be able to help 1 million people for free. That word will spread, and then the business will come back to you.